mine as an entrepreneur, as a young, vibrant youth. I was very passionate about business, for you to have the right mind. And this comes as a result of getting inspired by the different personnels that have gone ahead of you when it comes to business. And now we're heading straight into our business tips and course. But of course, before we get in there, the Markets on the Zabo platform will be opening in 13 minutes from now. Starting into hash is simply the USSD code for you there, and you will be available with a number of options where you will be able to buy government bonds and securities for just 15,000, as little as 15,000. But still, you can choose to invest more than that. But Zabo simply says, well, come with 15,000, let's grow together. And maybe with time, you will be increasing from 15,000 to 1 million and all that amounts of money. And now Zabo made this a reality. It's the 21st century, and there is no reason as why you shouldn't own government bonds and securities. Of course, the technology is evolving every other day. There is no paperwork. Of course, that's one of the most scary aspects for most of the people. So that means if there is no paperwork, there is no bureaucracy. Now, Zabo made this a reality, and it simply says my money, my future. And all that East Africa tells you, do something new for yourself in this year 2023. Well, right about now, let's cross over and take a look at our business tips and quotes. Of course, as to kickstart your day as an entrepreneur, as you get inspired. Well, quite a very exciting quote in there from John C. Maxwell when he said, of course, as a leader, you know the way, you go the way, you show the way to the people. I mean, it all comes back to how visionary are you when it comes to, the different aspects of life. And that is something quite very key. You need to have a vision, but also there is this aspect of you have the ability to make your vision, to replicate your vision amongst your followers. And this time around, I mean the subordinates, the people that are serving you. Do you have that capability? Actually, it's the biggest picture in here, regardless of what we do. Your ability to be in position to replicate. I mean, in that way, as you replicate the vision onto your subordinates, onto your followers, what is that? That means you are showing them the way. You already know it. You are the vision bearer. You had a vision of this big company, the multi-billion-dollar company, but you have followers. Because as time goes on, you will be no more. Definitely, a time will reach, and you can't even do any work. So, if you had replicated that vision perfectly amongst your followers, what does that mean? That means there is going to be continuity. Continuity of the company. Now, also those leaders will groom other leaders in the company, replicate the vision, the original vision towards you and the companies. And that's how companies are in position to actually exist for quite longer periods of time. It's all attributed to that perspective. It brings out that whole picture very, very currently. So that is something in for you to check out and find out. Well, that is it. And now, right about now, let's cross over. We're heading straight now to our business trends, as of course we're going to be having a look in here. And now our discussion this time around is going to be relying on the insecurity that is on the tourism sector. as of course we see the impact of insecurity on the tourism sector, which it's crippling the economy at the same time, and of course foreign exchange is a little bit cut off, and I think this is largely accompanied with a series of attacks. Not a series, but of course recently the attack on the school in Kasese, and knowing that some of these areas are quite tourism potential places actually, and of course there was a report which also was released by the different nations where we actually have tourists that come to Uganda to bring in the foreign exchange, and they're already setting warnings about alerting the insecurity in the country Uganda, and that is never a good sign for a country like Uganda, which has quite a big, which benefits from the tourism sector, because we know that tourism amongst the service sector is one of the key contributors when it comes to revenue. So the insecurity, well, what should be done about this? It should be quite deliberate, in my opinion, because we are losing quite lots of money. I mean, talking about billions of money which are being lost as a result of us experiencing these attacks. And now into this discussion we shall be having, that is Honorable Tebande K. Charles. And now this is the Member of Parliament of Bale County, and of course we shall be coming in down to Honorable James Kabureka. This is the Member of Parliament Kakinzi West, and then Honorable Lutamaguzise Makula coming in here, the Member of Parliament, that is a Nakaseke South. We shall be having those discussions later on. And now switching straight to our business trends, the social media trends, what's trending. This is Solomon Muita, of course, communications professional spokesperson, of course, on a 3-day sensitization tour of oil and gas. Yes, according to the look of things here, oil and gas projects, of course, in the Albertine region. And of course, we see that Uganda is currently fast-tracking the development of the infrastructure for oil production, expected to commence in 2025. This is Solomon Muita, the communications person for the Ministry of Energy. Still, so at Solomon Muita, Muita here, it says cargo air operations, the Hoima Best Kabalagi International Airport, of course Uganda's second international airport, shall commence in October 2023, says the contractor, that is CBS Uganda Limited. Now, it has a 3.5-kilometer runway and can accommodate 4 of the world's largest cargo planes at the same time. Yes, I guess that is something to watch out for, something to wait out for, which we can't wait. Okay, this is at
Honorable Engineer Simwe Janet, and it says a lot of progress has been achieved on I beg to beat exactly. On the Kabalega International Airport, more developments. And that is quite an amazing, I must say, view right there.
Yeah, very beautiful.
Uganda view. is I'm proud. I'm
of
really
course,
proud.
development's underway. Yes, according to
so far,
things.
So far so good. Not very bad, of course.
Okay. Further in more here, we see the construction. Of course, the construction progress at Kabalega International Airport run is at an impressive 99%, and other infrastructure also completed with just few remaining structures slated for the next phase. Interesting.
Anyway, I must ask, what do you know about Kabalega when the name Kabalega?
Kabalega, of course, the king. That's what comes in mind. He was a Munyoro, right?
Yes.
Yeah, king of Munyoro.
Yeah,
so
in honor of such, we love such. I like knowing. It has to be a background.
Of that.
Yeah, I love such. That this is at 256 trends, and they say Kabalega International Airport includes a runway that spans 3.5 kilometers in length and has a width of 45 meters with additional shoulders measuring 15 meters on its side. Like we were saying, I like such names coming up. Just
from
imagine.
Just like JFK, Jeff Kennedy Airport.
Yes, I mean, there has to be a history behind it. And that is one of the things that make it beautiful. Once you're coming to the airport and they're briefing you about the history and the reason why it's being called Kabalega, definitely.
Exactly, and that can be a tourist attraction itself. Like I want to go to the JF Kennedy because of the president.
Yes. Now this is Muiza Diane and the peer officer Molisa Amos claims that the runway at Kabarega International Airport is 99% complete with development. Only a few remaining structures are planned for the following phase, and other infrastructures have already been finished. This is quite something for the people of Bunyoro.
Yeah, very key, and it's very, I mean, it's something that now they're going to be having, which is going to be like a foundation, you know, a big foundation when it comes to, I mean, when you go to Bunyoro, what is that? Like how you see Statue of Liberty, you know, this is New York. So that was going to be like that.
Now this is Chizito Elisha, and says the construction progress at Kabalega International Airport runway is at an impressive 99%. The infrastructure are also completed. The airport development is officially near a total completion, spearheaded by SBC Uganda and SBI International Holdings.
Yeah, contracted local companies to do that.
Oh, wow.
That is quite positive. Local content promotion. And I hope these people don't really disappoint us. And, you know, and what I mean is not about, you know, it would matter when this consistency and sustainability of that particular, we don't want to see it in just 1 month and there are already potholes into the runway.
I'm seeing already a name given to it, Kia.
Yeah, but I haven't seen any big buildings.
You know, they'll come up. I mean, the runway is complete, so definitely we're waiting for the startup of the building.
Okay.
The building. Now this is President's friend, and he says, I've given Kabalega International Airport code Kia, but I haven't seen any big buildings.
Big buildings. Wow.
Anyway, it's process by process.
It's process
At
by
least
process,
the runway is there, and some aircrafts can land, and you know.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if there is a small office where you can register and all, you know, that's progress for progress.
And now this is also going to be saving time for the tourists that come in. I mean, you know, that western area is known for quite having a potential, you know, a beautiful tourism scene, and it's very key and potential to that. So it's going to be saving time and money to the tourists that are coming in. Of course, I know they have money, but of course, they don't have the money, but it will be saving them the time. They'll have to, you know, land on the airport, then you transport, you walk through the Maram roads with potholes, and you know, have to go to these related different tourism sites. Well, it's something which is yet to be dealt with. Well, now, like I told you in our update, in our business next business trend was going to be largely relying on security, on the impact of insecurity on the tourism sector, as we have the Member of Parliament of Bali County, that is Tebandeke Charles, and Honorable James Kaberuka, MP Kakinzi West, Kikinzi rather, and Honorable Dr. Magzi Semakula, MP Nakaseke South. Let's get into this discussion, and of course we shall be returning to wrap this up.
It's very bad that the tourism sector is almost next to coffee and fisheries in terms of foreign exchange earning into the country. And when it comes to sabotage to security, then it is a direct definition for insecurity, which is going to scare even the tourism industry. And beside the boundary attacks, we have also registered the number of internal conflicts due to political dilemmas. So now if this one is again, if this one is also registered, then it is an evidence that Uganda is insecure, and this one is going to scare away very many tourists. Instead of attracting them, we are disattracting them. So I think it is a negative effect and setback to our economy. And beside that, also the budget is going to be affected because very soon the Ministry for Security and Defense is going to present a supplementary budget in urge for more money to rescue the situation. So it's affecting our budget performance and appropriation, and at the same time it's also affecting the inflow of the tourists, which is an effect to foreign exchange earning into the country. It is a disadvantage on Uganda's side, and we are going to register a number of setbacks economically.
Tourism is not only in Kasese, tourism is everywhere. But when tourists hear that there is a certain incident in a particular country, they generalize it. You cannot say that Kasese is just a certain area, therefore the other areas are very fine. It will affect the whole tourism industry. Someone in Washington hears that there are certain people who can come and attack a country or a certain part of a country, would not just take it lightly, that after all they attacked a certain area, would just take it generally. So it's upon the government to see, because economically we are doing badly. And tourism is one of the sectors which are fetching some good money for our economy. If it is affected, in the long run, the economy will be too affected. So we should not celebrate that this happened in Kasese particularly. We should worry about all sectors in this country, because there is no tourist wherever he comes from who can hear that there is a certain incident which happened, and then we think of booking to come and do his whole tourism in Uganda. So government should find a way how they can neutralize the rebels.
This is one of the places that has the tourism attraction sites.
Definitely, the security situation in Uganda is quite uncertain, and it has a connotation on tourism sector. Not only the tourism sector, but also on the whole, the economy, because it represents, you know, when you hear issues of police officers killing people, then you find that the ADF also is coming in to attack a school. People are not certain. But I want to say that the president's statement on that issue is quite, comforting, because he has promised to beef up the security.
That is matters regarding impact of insecurity in tourism, of course, which is causing quite the same huge lots of worry following the series of attacks that happened.
Yes, I must say now, with the recent attacks, we have to focus mainly now on the Kasese region, which actually has has majority of the tourist attractions in Uganda. Definitely, for those that do not know, there is Queen Elizabeth National Park. It's in Kasese.
The famous mountain Rwenzori.
The famous mountain Rwenzori, and of course other sites that you have to look out for, and of course Katwe. Lake Katwe is in Kasese.
Lake Katwe, yeah.
Yes, so definitely it has one of the sites that people go out and look out for. And of course it has good accommodation, good and scenery,
a beautiful scenery.
So definitely with the insecurity that is happening recently, with the killings and the ADF coming in and disrupting the businesses, community, and of course families, I must say it has a huge impact on the community and of course the economy as well. Why? No one wants to come in a country or in a place where there are murder cases.
Murder cases. And by the way, talking about murder cases, Britain, the United Kingdom and the United States of America were warning people, the Americans that were in the country, to vacate because the country is not secure. And now these are the people that bring in the foreign revenue. You see how that is called? It's really backfiring quite such big. But today in our press we had something in relation to the UPDF deploying commandos in Kasese and of course a mission which is really undergoing, and we believe it's going to be something very key. Now, of course, when I read the report here, we see that army commandos backed by other military of course calmed Kasese as security forces yesterday continued their quest to find and apprehend the appropriators that is of last week's bloody attack on the boarding school in the district. And now, of course, the Uganda People's Defense Forces together with the Uganda Police Forces were seen that is mounting foot patrols backed by armored vehicles, and of course, yeah, doing that search really very passionately. Unlike in the past days, security in the area has been significantly enhanced. But why should we first wait to have attacks and enhance security? You know, like unlike in the past days. So that means in the past days, it's been just usual. I mean, there has not been that tight security.
I mean, of course, you know, when the place is there is a little bit less violence, and of course, people tend to relax. There's laxity.
But at least we should pay attention to the value of the assets in that area. Like in this case, the tourism attraction sites, they are assets. I mean, if you had like the way you protect a bank, it should be the same way you protect a tourist attraction center.
So we should say Kasese and tourist.
Those are banks.
Yes, those are those.
It's a bank.
The big
Yes.
monies right in
banks.
our country, Uganda. And of course, if you see such things happening right now,
yeah.
and you know, it takes such things for us to open our eyes. So definitely, if you see Mount Rwenzori, the highest mountain
in Uganda,
definitely, and that is where most people they want to trek, they want to climb up. And you just imagine you've gotten into the country, you're excited about Rwenzori, and the next thing you know, you cannot make it. Why? There is, you know, insecurity in the country. Definitely you go back disappointed. So I think we shouldn't wait for such instances to happen for us to be vigilant and awake. And of course, we didn't see it coming.
Nobody saw it coming.
No one saw it coming, but definitely we have to be on our feet, on our toes. For now, you know, it saddens me. It's going to happen for a short while, and the laxity will come back again. We shall go back to normal. You know, when you see gold in a place, definitely you have to safeguard it.
You have to safeguard it. Yeah, because those places are equivalent to government. They're equivalent to bonds. You know. So very interesting.
If you can see in a district you have almost 12 tourist attractions, that means that's something it's something to be proud of. I mean, there's Kazinga Channel, there is Lake Katwe, there are a lot of safari lodges right there, and of course Kororo Falls. Yes.
Kororo Falls.
Yes. I mean, definitely. I mean, these are things people do not know. Kororo Falls. I also didn't know.
Kororo Falls.
Yeah, it's in Kasese.
Interesting.
So definitely, you know, you have to keep in mind that we need such things. So, and of course, if there is insecurity, such places are damaged. Just imagine.
Absolutely true. Well, it's 5 minutes to 8:30, and of course we're coming to the end of this particular session. But of course, before we get into the break, don't forget the markets on the Zabo platform, which have already opened. They opened 10 minutes back. Yes, they open at exactly 8:15 a.m. and they'll be closing at 3:15 p.m. effective Monday up to Friday, except on the weekends and the public holidays when these markets are inaccessible. But of course, despite the fact you have the rest of the 5 days to capitalize and make yourself quite some huge profits, something which I believe is very key and vital when it comes to your personal growth and development, and most especially if you're a trader. This is one of the ways you can actually offset the trade deficit. The trade deficits which you might have incurred throughout the week. Now, by buying government bonds and securities, this is quite a sure way for you to attain that sort of financial stability. Zabo made this a reality. It's the 21st century. Now Zabo simply tells you, my money, my future. And Altex East Africa says, do something new for yourself in the year 2023. Well, right about now, let's get into the break. And coming up shortly, we shall be taking a look at business and entertainment. Masi Katsuno will actually be taking new brew today. what's happening into the world of entertainment. And Jerome Paulson will be joining us to give us what's really transpiring into the world of sports business. Stick around. A very good morning.
Smart 24, driving